Well, this isn't the kind of stuff I like to talk about, but I will for the sake of honoring and respecting Kobayashi's legacy. Kiyoshi Kobayashi is an amazing voice actor, and unfortunately, he passed away at the end of July 30th, 2022. It's tough because he retired almost a year ago from his main anime role as Daisuke Jigen, and he managed to pass down the mantle to Akio Otsuka, who is now voicing Daisuke Jigen in Lupin III. It's crazy to me because although yes, he is an older gentleman at 89 years old, it's still saddening to know that someone so amazing and someone so full of talent just getting out of the industry a year later unfortunately passes away. And my condolences and my thoughts go out to his family, his friends, and his loved ones. We as his fans are devastated by this news, but I feel like being able to help with that is just talking about him and celebrating his life, because in my personal opinion, yes, death is sad and it's difficult to go through grief and understand that this person may not be coming back, but it's also about honoring their legacy, what they brought into this world and what they did with their talents. And Kobayashi did that in spades. Lupin III was his biggest role that he's ever done for 50 years. And there's some other great roles that he's done throughout his career. And I want to talk about that a little bit. So I'm going to be making a brief history regarding Kiyoshi Kobayashi, as again, this is my way of celebrating his life and ultimately thanking him for all of the work that he's done. I can't thank him enough, and I know I'm not alone in that sentiment. Throughout this video, I will talk about some of the roles that he's done, definitely including Daisuke Jigen, but I won't be tackling everything because there's definitely a multitude of roles that he's taken on, that I will be going through some highlights, in my personal opinion, some highlights that I think are great ones to mention. I ultimately implore you to look into the roles that he's done outside of the ones I talk about here today, because you never know, he could have done a voice acting role for a character that you may love or you've seen, but just in English. It's just giving him that credit and respecting the work he's done, no matter how old it has been. So to start, Kobayashi was born on January 11th, 1933 in Bunkyo, Tokyo City, Japan. A Japanese voice actor, and narrator from Tokyo, Kobayashi has a massive amount of work under his belt, most of which has been Daisuke Jigen from Lupin III. But before I even get into Lupin, there is so much more to talk about before that. Unfortunately, as it usually tends to be, not much is known about Kobayashi's life outside of voice acting or prior to his voice acting career. According to several websites, Kobayashi was a graduate of the Tokyo Metropolitan Koishikawa High School and the Arts Department of Nihon University. And according to his official website, thanks to Google Translate as it is in Japanese, in 1953 he attended in the theater company Izumiza under the National Institute of Cultural Studies. He was also a part of the founding of the talent agency that he worked for prior to retiring, Haikyo, back in 1960. I know this isn't a lot of info to begin with, and I'm honestly really sorry. I wish I had more to say, but even from this stuff alone, we could still tell that acting for Kobayashi was a dream of his and something he aspired to do in his life. In this case, it could be possible to say that he's considered a driving force that helped form voice acting in Japan today due to Haikyo, also known as the Tokyo Actors Consumers Cooperative Society, which has some amazing talent that you may have heard of before, like Junko Minegawa, voice of Sailor Uranus and Sailor Moon Eternal, and Cornelia Lee Britannia from Code Geass, and Yuya Uchida, who has been dubbing over Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil in the Marvel show, and the voice of Perospero in One Piece, just to name a couple. But this goes to show that this is a massive company, and Kobayashi helped form that when he was younger. How amazing is that? Who's to say that voice acting would be what it is today without this company and his inclusion? That is hard to say, but I can only imagine the importance behind it. Also, according to his official profile, he could apparently translate English, which is awesome since multiple languages are hard to learn, aka myself with both Spanish and Japanese. But moving on to his overall acting career, to start, did you know that Rick Dicker, the guy that helps out Mr. Incredible, is voiced by Kobayashi? I highly doubt it. He was also Mother effing Jerry from Totally Spies. Like, dude, come on. That's legendary status right there, which is even more whack that Disney Plus doesn't have The Incredibles in Japanese in the States, and also in Japan apparently, as I am using a VPN. Really weird, but all that aside though, Kobayashi has began his voice acting career with Shazam in Shazam, Ucho Patrol Hopper as Dalton, and live acting as Gory in Spectre-Man, just to name a few. Personally, what I think is cool is he has narrated for different shows, whether live action or anime, and dubbing roles within live action films that are not originally from Japan. Aside from Jigen, his voice history is amazing and well varied too, as he has done animes, OVAs, films, live action stuff. Like, I know I keep mentioning it, but my god, it's such a catalog of stuff that he's done. He has narrated for the Battle of Okinawa, the Daita Kao series, Dragon Sakura, Seiyu Tante, and much more stuff, as well as dubbing over James Coburn in several movies such as The Great Escape and The Magnificent Seven. This is especially insane as, according to Monkey Punch himself, Daisuke Jigen was inspired by James Coburn, especially in his role within The Magnificent Seven. So it just comes full circle into the creation of Jigen and Kobayashi's voice work with him. Again, there are so many roles that he has done, but not enough time to go through them all. However, I do want to mention that Kobayashi has won 2 awards for his voice acting talents, which are the Merit Rewards for the Tokyo Anime Award Festival in 2018 and the 11th Seiyu Awards in 2017. So after all of that, there is still the holy grail of his work: voice acting for Daisuke Jigen. As I have already mentioned time and time again earlier, he has voice acted for Jigen so much for about 50 years, even from the beginning of the pilot film, a 12-minute short film that focused on introducing our beloved characters, working alongside other great talent such as Eiko Masuyama, the late father of the new Jigen voice actor, Akio Otsuka. Again, this was back in 1969 when the pilot film was first aired. He has voiced Jigen in almost every single incarnation, excluding one, the plot of the Fuma clan, or otherwise known as the Fuma Conspiracy, as he was voiced by Banjo Ginga. Aside from that one instance, he has voiced Jigen in all the main parts aside from the main run of Part 6, as he was only given episode 0 within part 6 as he decided to retire at that point in time, as well as every single movie, TV special, video game, including the darker toned spin-off Lupin franchise done by Takeshi Kaoke. He has stuck by Jigen's side every step of the way for the past 50 years. And let's be honest, the 50-year anniversary isn't just a celebration of Lupin, but also Kobayashi, as he was the last original cast member left in the crew before his recent retirement a year ago. If that isn't dedication, then I have no idea what it is then. It's very rare to see someone dedicate themselves enough to voice a specific character for so long, and that's amazing. It goes to show how much not only we may enjoy someone's voice work and character, but how that impacts the actor as a person. I truly believe that Jigen has influenced Kobayashi's life somehow, as Jigen has become a part of him throughout his voice acting career. And that's why it is sad, as a bit of Jigen did die. However, Kobayashi is able to live on within the spirit of Jigen's character thanks to Akio and his amazing talent within Part 6. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to the table, and so far he's doing great. Before I end this, I want to say that you will be missed, Kobayashi. You will always live on as our favorite gunslinger and Lupin's partner forever. I can't be more thankful for you being a part of that and bringing Jigen to life the way you did. It truly breaks my heart that you passed away, but I know you're doing much better now, living amongst the stars, and living with Jigen in spirit as his adventures continue on with Akio. Thank you so much for living and being such a badass. And as Lupin once said, see you later, partner.